Hello, everybody. Welcome to another edition of SacTown Movie Buffs. Once again, I'm Kierre, and this is Jason. And today we are back reviewing two more films. Today we're going to be reviewing two films that are both streaming. Enola Holmes, which can be found on Netflix, and Unpregnant, which can be found on HBO Max. And so those are the two films we'll be discussing today. And I say without further ado, we get right into it. So we're going to go ahead and start off with our first movie review, which will be Enola Holmes. And Jason, would you be so kind to take this one on?
Sure. So Enola Holmes is it stars Millie Bobby Brown, who a lot of people know as Eleven on Stranger Things, which is one of my favorite shows. She stars as Sherlock Holmes' little sister, basically, and it's kind of a spin-off. It seems like it seems like the first film in probably a series that's like a spin-off of the Sherlock Holmes storyline, because she plays his little sister. And in this movie, it's kind of an origin story for her. Plus, she has two different mysteries that she's trying to solve at the same time. The first would be that her mother, played by Helena Bonham Carter, disappears, and she's trying to track down her mother. And simultaneously, when she's trying to track down her mother, she comes across a escaped Lord Tewksbury, kind of an escaped young royal family member, who somebody is trying to kill him, and they're trying to find out who and why. So she's trying to solve both of those mysteries at the same time. I really enjoyed this movie. I'm not like a big Sherlock Holmes fan. Like I've never read the books. I saw the Robert Downey Jr. ones and whatever. But I really enjoyed this. I thought Millie Bobby Brown is great, and she also produced the movie, also by the way. And I'm glad that in general, I'm glad that the Stranger Things kids are getting out there and making movies, because I've seen 3 of them in movies recently, and they've all been good. This was good. I liked Joe Keery and Spree, and I liked Natalia Dyer in Yes, God, Yes. So I'm glad that they're getting out there, putting their toe in the water, and making other things, so they're not going to be just tied down to Stranger Things forever. That's good. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. It felt like a real movie. It felt like a big budget movie that you'd see at the movie theater. I really liked Henry Cavill as Sherlock Holmes. I thought I preferred him to Robert Downey Jr., to be honest. Helena Bonham Carter is good. It was just a good, solid, like, adventure movie. It made me laugh. It looked good. It was exciting. Had some good fight scenes. I actually, as far as like young female protagonists go, I saw the Mulan reboot, like a few weeks ago, and I actually thought this was a much better movie, honestly. So I really enjoyed it. How about you?
Overall I liked it. I didn't love it or anything like that. I thought it was decent. I thought it was a refreshing story to the Sherlock Holmes saga, I guess, if you will. I enjoyed that element. I thought it was a little longer than it needed to be, in my opinion. I felt like they could have trimmed maybe a little bit off of there, and then I felt like the conclusion was, just okay, I guess, if you will. I felt like maybe that was part of the part that I felt like could have been trimmed a little bit, but overall, I didn't think it was bad. It was an interesting story. I definitely wasn't bored. I was interested for the most part, but can't say that I was over the moon with it. But it was a decent film. So not a horrible way to spend. How long is it? 2 hours?
About 2 hours, right on the nose.
Yeah. So not the worst way to spend 2 hours. But I don't know. Maybe if it was an hour and a half, hour and 45 minutes, I would have enjoyed it a little bit more. But overall, not a bad film.
Cool.
Yeah. well, that was short and sweet. Not a whole lot to say about that one. Definitely, not a bad film.
I feel like we're going to be 1 star apart, like always.
Probably. But yeah, it was funny in parts. It had some decent, fight scenes, if you will. you definitely learn a lot about her because, like I said, it's kind of an origin story, so you learn a lot about her. And I gotta imagine there's going to be, based on how the success for this one, there's, I don't know how they quantify that on Netflix, but based on the success, I gotta imagine there's probably going to be more sequels coming as well. So
yeah, it seems pretty popular. A lot of people I know have already watched it, and they all loved it. I haven't heard from anybody who really didn't like it, so I'm pretty sure there's going to be more based on that.
Yeah. So this is, like I said, kind of more of an origin story, and I'm sure she's gonna kind of follow in the footsteps of being a detective, similar to, like, Sherlock Holmes kind of thing. So yeah, definitely cool. Well, moving right along to the next film, I guess. So, which is Unpregnant. And I will take this one. I didn't know either of the lead stars. I think I've seen one of them before, but I didn't really know them all that well. They're both younger as well. But Unpregnant is basically about a girl that finds out as a teenager she's teenage pregnancy, basically, and in a nutshell, decides to figure out a way to get an abortion. So a little bit of a backstory, but basically it's the girl with the blonde hair basically is the one that gets pregnant, and she used to be really good friends with the other girl, I guess, when they were younger, and they kind of drifted apart over the years. I guess as she got popular, the other girl kind of wasn't as popular. Kind of seen that story done before, where they were good friends when they were younger, and then one wanted to hang out with the popular kids, and the other was kind of more unique, if you will, with the green hair and that kind of stuff. So not as popular. We've seen that story before, of course. But after she finds out that she's pregnant and decides to have an abortion, she, basically this is the only girl that, she feels like, she can utilize for help because she has a car. And so then it basically becomes a road trip film as she goes to find out to get the abortion, because I guess in the state that they live in order to get an abortion underage, you have to get parents' consent. So they basically live in Missouri, and they have to travel all the way to basically New Mexico, because that's the closest state where you can actually get an abortion underage without parents' consent. And so it basically turns into a road trip film after that. And obviously there's a series of mishaps. Obviously it's the kind of film where, they weren't friends and they're kind of cool again and they're not cool again and that kind of stuff. And, of course they meet a lot of different people along the way. They make stops, they have issues, car trouble or car problems, things of that nature. And that's pretty much the nutshell of the film. I don't want to go too much into spoilers, but that's basically the gist of it. The father of the child is also involved in the film as well. He's her. I don't know if he kind of her boyfriend, but obviously it seems like he doesn't want her to have the abortion. He thinks that they should get married, and so he's kind of trying to coerce her into not doing it and getting married instead. But she seems pretty set that she wants to have an abortion. I think that was the first thing that she looked up as soon as she found out. And that's kind of the nutshell of the story. Overall, I see what the film was going for. But it kind of felt like a pro-life after school special in some capacities. You
mean pro-choice?
I'm sorry, pro-choice. Pro-life, pro-choice after school special. Although they do encounter some pro-life people along the way as well, for part of the story also. But yeah, it's kind of like a pro-choice, like I said, after school special about a woman's right to choose. It's kind of what I came away with it, but told in kind of more of a comedy, but they didn't make it too serious either. You know what I mean? They didn't really make it like there was a lot of repercussions and that kind of stuff. So it was kind of a comedy, but it was also about something that's really real and very personal and intimate for, a lot of women that make this choice one way or another, that have, get pregnant at an early age. I thought it was okay. I thought it had a good start. And then, I don't know, somewhere around the middle of the film, it kind of waned a little bit in my opinion, and it never really picked back up for me after that. So I was enjoying maybe the first 30, 45 minutes of it. And then somewhere along the way, I kind of was getting less interested in the story as it kind of wore on. So overall, I just thought it was an okay film. So not one that I loved, not one that I would revisit personally, but it was an okay film overall. So what was your take, Jason?
I kind of feel exactly the same, actually. I was looking forward to this one a lot because I like road movies. I like teen films, especially kind of independent teen films. I really like the lead actress. Her name is Haley Lou Richardson, and I really like her a lot. She was in The Edge of 17. She was in Split. And then she's been in a couple of indies that I really liked a lot, Columbia and Support the Girls. Those are both, like, all four really good movies. So I like her a lot. I wasn't familiar with the other actress, but I found out she's on Euphoria, which is an HBO show that I've been meaning to watch, but I haven't yet, so I didn't know her very well. But yeah, it seemed, the reviews are really good. I'm very, very pro-choice, so obviously I'm in line with its ideals. So I thought this would be like a slam dunk for me. Teen film, road film, topical, actress that I really like a lot. But yeah, and kind of like you, I was on board. I thought it was really good for like about the first half, I would say. And then again, not to get into spoilers too much, but there comes a certain point where I'll just say they've lost their car that they're driving in, and they decide to accept a ride from a family. Okay? That's all I'm going to say. But at that point, it kind of takes an unexpected turn into almost like National Lampoon's insanity. You know what I mean? Up till then, it's kind of in the realm of real life. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and
it gets a little silly after that point. I feel like, in my opinion, because it gets really over the top at that point. Like right. I said, it seems this is a serious issue that people are usually on one side or the other. And it's a real serious topic. And it felt like it was being mostly serious. I mean, there were still some humor elements in the very beginning of the film. Don't get me wrong, but I felt like I kind of agree with you at about that point. And I would go say even a little bit before that, even at the point where they basically lose her car and other characters come in there. I felt like around there it started taking a different turn that that I was just like, okay, now you're adding these extra elements that I wasn't really prepared for and that sort of stuff. And then it kind of reminded me of a lot of other movies that kind of have some of the same similar other topics, with two girls and kind of like Booksmart in a way, where you find out that, one of the characters has another secret and that kind of stuff. And it kind of goes into that direction. And then, like you said, and then with they take a ride from some strangers or whatever, so I don't know. I just felt like that it kind of started to lose me a little bit at that point. So.
Yeah, it gets at a certain point it gets cartoony. You know what I mean? Out of nowhere. All of a sudden it's like a different movie entirely, and it just kind of took me out of it. And it never really got me back. And then toward the end it veers back into public service announcement territory almost. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and then there's even a scene where one of the characters, goes to meet somebody in a family member or whatever, and they try to make it more serious again, and I'm just like, we already had all this just stuff that what I mean. I don't know, so I felt like it was a little messy, I guess. Is the best way to describe it. I thought the first half was very solid, and then after that it just became a mess, unfortunately, which is I wasn't expecting it. I was really having a good time, but then they just I don't know why they would choose to make a decision like that, to just kind of yank the tone of the movie off the road like that. You know what I mean? So I don't know. It seemed like it was building up to be a really good. Yeah, it seemed like it was building up to be a really good road movie with the two girls and their experiences and that sort of stuff. And then there's obviously some tension between the two girls because of they had a friendship and then they didn't. And obviously the one girl probably partially feels like, you're only asking me to come along because I have a car kind of situation, and and so I thought they were going to explore that a little bit more, and there was going to be a little bit more that happens in that capacity. But like you said, it kind of goes off the rails a little bit, and they try to bring it back at the end, but at that point they already kind of had lost me for the most part. So
yeah, I kind of tuned out by that point. So
yeah.
Oh well.
So yeah, overall didn't necessarily go crazy for that one either. So
yeah.
But I guess I don't go crazy for a lot of movies, so that's just me though. So
yeah.
At least not as much as Jason does, and mostly anyway. So, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens here in a second. So, well, we'll do our reviews. So we'll start off with Enola Holmes. I guess overall grade you would give that one, and the face you would give that one as well.
Oh, I really enjoyed that. I give it a 4 out of 5, which is a solid B+ for me, which is this face. Smile with some teeth. Cool.
Yeah, I liked it, and unfortunately, I'm going to be a star less. It's going to be a 3 out of 5 for me. So, like I said, I liked it. I didn't love it. I won't be rushing out to see the sequels for it. Let's put it that way.
It's you won't have to rush out because it'll be on Netflix.
Well, yeah, I won't be rushing to stream those sequels or whatever. Well, you never know. I mean, if it plays well enough, who knows? I don't know if they have if Netflix has a lock on the whole series or what. So it's hard to say. But yeah, I liked it. Like I said, I didn't love it. So I'm gonna give it a 3 out of 5, and I'm gonna give it this face, which is a smile with no teeth. So just a smile. So that's me. And then Unpregnant. Overall grade and the face you would give that one.
I'm giving that 2.5 out of 5. So which is in the C range, average. Unfortunately, if it had kept going the way it was for like the first half, then I would have really enjoyed it. But it didn't. It makes some strange choices in the second half. So that's a 2.5 out of 5, a C, which is this face. Just no expression really. Overall.
Yeah. So I'm not going to be a full star behind you. I will be about a half star behind you. So I'm going to give it a 2 out of 5 in this case. But I'm going to give it this face, which is the same face you gave it, which is just no expression pretty much. So so like I said, can't say that I loved it or hated it, but it was just there. So one of those ones that I probably won't be revisiting and somewhat forgettable for a film that I don't know. I just felt like for a film that had so much subject matter that they could have done so much with it. Why they chose to go that route, I really didn't understand it. So just my personal opinion. So but cool. Well, those are our reviews. Like I said, if you've seen either or both films, let us know in the comments. Your thoughts, your takes on the film. As always, if you like the review, we ask that you give us a big thumbs up. Of course, as always, subscribe to the channel, and then always make sure you hit the bell notification so you don't miss any of our updates. And we'll be back again soon with another film. We thank you for watching and hope you have a great day. Bye.